This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. If you need a domain, website, or online store, make it with Squarespace.
Hey, I'm Mark.
I'm Nives.
This is Hector, and this is our base camper.
I was working as a makeup artist in fashion / beauty.
And I was working as a commercial TV director, mostly for the NFL. So we were living pretty urbanized lifestyles. We lived in Philadelphia in a nice loft building right in the heart of downtown. So when Nives and I started realizing that we were really into hiking, climbing, kind of seeing the great outdoors, we realized that it was going to be impossible to really get to experience those places without really getting to spend lots of time there. And the only way we could really spend time in the place that we wanted to be was to have a mobile living situation.
We first thought we were gonna have the camper be more of gear hauler, but it evolved into also us being able to sleep inside. That's why it's not really even as tall, because initially we were just gonna most likely put a rooftop tent on top and sleep up there.
We realized that it had to be a off-road trailer. That led us to an ad on Craigslist where a guy was selling an old Humvee trailer from the Army. We bought it for $800, which was a steal considering it was in pretty good condition. Started sketching out some ideas, and then one day we literally went to the store, bought some wood, and started framing it out. The thing that I come back to a lot is that when we first met, we started saying, hey, someday we'll go and we'll spend time on the West Coast, and someday we'll go spend time in the desert. I think the turning point for us was those some days kept feeling like they kept getting pushed off further and further and further, and so we just wanted to stop saying someday and just start doing them. We've just tried to simplify things as much as possible so we have the time to be able to experience life as much as we want to. The first part of the equation of our mobile living situation is the Chevy Silverado. It ends up being really great for us because not only is it really solid on the road, off the road, the truck bed gives us enough room to store all the camera gear and camping gear that we need. And then the other great thing about the truck is that it's like the perfect mobile office for us. We have a cell phone booster in there, so a lot of our work requires us to kind of go back and forth emails, take phone calls, talk to clients. Downside of the truck is the mileage. It kind of sucks. We only get about 15 miles to the gallon when we're not towing. When we are towing, that goes down to about 11. The coolest thing maybe about the tongue part of this camper is it's got one of these big pintle hooks on it, which there's a big, no matter how much the trailer is articulating up, down, left, right, there's no way it can pop off. These are 2 golf cart batteries, pretty standard, like 2 6 volts in series. Those give us 235 amp hours of power. Those are charged by a 200 watt panel that's located on the roof. As part of one of our secondary additions to the camper, this whole nose area where you see these solar panels, that was something that we had wanted to do from the start. When we first started, it was just a flat front. It gives us another 120 watts of solar panels. This bank of panels feeds Goal Zero Yetis, which are on this side of the camper. And it also allows us to store some of like the common camp tools that we use all the time. So there's a shovel, which is pretty much how you go number 2. And then this block right here is just kind of a homemade leveling block. So that's been another unexpected beauty of having the camper, is that there's only 3 points of contact, so it's easier for us to level it. This aluminum channel covered with stickers, that is part of our rainwater collection system. Another reason why we really wanted to build something is there's sustainability aspects that you really can't find on mass-produced models. Adding the rainwater collection system, being able to collect all the water that comes off the roof, for us is huge. It's proven, it's saved our ass a few times for sure. If you come around to the side, so this side serves as kind of more of the utilitarian side. We have a bank of Goal Zero Yetis here, which these are great because we use these mostly to charge our computers. We can lift them out, so if we need power for a shoot or just something else that can't necessarily be right at the camper, we can easily pull those out. You can see the rest of our rainwater collection system. So you saw on the front, it comes out, it collects into like a gutter almost. From here, it comes in, and my dad actually smartly helped me engineer this. You can either turn this valve and collect rainwater, and it'll just go through this tiny little particulate filter just to take out any like sand or leaves. And then that comes across over here and fills our 35-gallon tank. So 35 gallons of water in this tank that we use strictly for washing dishes, for taking showers, anything that doesn't involve drinking or eating that water. When you're not camping at a campground, like you don't have a table most of the time. So we really wanted to have as much table space as we could to get stuff off the ground. And we decided to build these doors so that the bottom section would open up, kind of like one of those old Boy Scout chuck boxes. So that was the thinking behind these. They kind of scissor open and you have a little bit of protection from the elements if it's raining outside. And then this side is closet. So this would be my side up here. This is Nives' side. These are pretty much 90% of the clothes we have with us, and all the stuff we wear in a constant rotation goes in here. We keep extra clothes like winter clothes or summer clothes depending on the season stored underneath the bed. But kitchen side we should talk about. So same design as far as like the doors fold down to give you counter space. We really put an emphasis on food cooking on the road, and Nives is really able to create kind of anything, most anything you'd be able to create at home. So we have food storage up top. We've kind of devised just rough ways to store some of our dishes on the road. There's a lot of nesting things. We kind of figured out a good series of bins to hold our food. You know, organization is kind of one of those evolving things. So we eventually built this custom pantry system that can hold anything from oils to vinegars. We lined a lot of the things with foam. So a lot of the compartments have foam bottoms, so none of these glass jars ever have a problem breaking. And some of the bigger containers, like oil and vinegar, we store in these bigger stainless steel containers. The rest of the kitchen ends up being up here. We use an ARB 50-quart 12-volt fridge. Just storage for various things. We have a couple cast iron pots and pans. This is an ARB 8-foot by 8-foot awning. And the nice thing about this, not only does it kind of define the kitchen space, but we have an entire screen room too that can enclose this. So at the height of the mosquito hatch season in the summertime, when it would be impossible to cook outside any other way, we zip on the mosquito room and we can keep rolling. This is just a really simple gravity feed. So if you need to wash hands or anything, this comes straight out of the 35-gallon tank. And then this year we've been dabbling with a hot water system, which is pressurized. So what this is another Camp Chef product. So essentially we have a pump mounted inside the camper. It takes a feed off of that 35-gallon tank and it'll pump it through here. Propane heats it up and it comes out pressurized. So we use that for washing dishes, taking a shower. When you fire it up, it gets hot really fast.
Basically, this is how we travel. We push this back. On two sides, it hooks with a little carabiner. That way we can store a couple of things here. And then once we get to a place, put it down and voila. We have our little cozy sleeping station in here. Dive on in. I really mostly appreciate the skylights in here, which at first we didn't have. And it felt like you were kind of in a wooden box, maybe a coffin. We have a way of putting little shades that's just Velcro on and then you're all set. So basically if you want to stargaze when you're right about to fall asleep, you can totally do that. We have a little storage on the sides for a slot where you can slide in your computer, books. A really neat thing also that a lot of people appreciate is we figured out that if we use magnet and we put a little holder right here, we can have a movie night by just popping on iPad just like that. We have a little splitter, and when we put each our own headphones and then watch whatever show. Mark usually falls asleep in 5 minutes. And then I tell him the next day what happened. Extra pillows go up here. Just pop it up like that. We have mosquito net that rolls down when the bugs are bad, so we're actually pretty good in here. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. It's really minimalistic.
To make it sustainable, we decided to take our trades, which was making films, taking photographs, and just pivot them towards the outdoor industry and the outdoor lifestyle, which we were jumping in head first. And so we started a company called Camp Trend, which is a media production company. A lot of people always wonder how to do this, how to make sustainable. And people always, I think it comes down to money, which is I feel the same stress as money, I feel like, as most people do. I don't think it's a good enough excuse to stop you. I think wasted time is way worse than wasted money. You know, we have a lifetime to make money, and money just kind of rolls through, and sometimes you have a lot of it, sometimes you have none of it, sometimes you have even less than none of it. But your time is just ticking away. You know, none of us really know how we're gonna die or when we're gonna die. Your time is still the most valuable resource you have. Every day that passes you by is one day less you have. I think if you're really serious about trying to change your lifestyle, if something in the alternative lifestyle, the mobile lifestyle really speaks to you, it's just a matter of being brave and jumping right in. And I think the rest, you'll figure it out.
I don't know. I think you just do it. You really have to just do it, because if you stop and you think about these things, about like all the difficulties, obstacles, it's just going to prevent you from actually doing the things that need to be done in order to make it happen, make the life easier as it's happening.
I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And
check us out. We're at Camp Trend. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Aloha! Great to see you again. About to finish that Squarespace ad. In our modern day, I believe that everybody should have a website. I have a website. It's beautiful. It's made by Squarespace. I use Squarespace, and here's why. Starting anything is pretty daunting. A lot of people never start because they don't know where or how to begin. Squarespace takes away that because they provide you with beautiful templates. I use Squarespace, and I'm basically a chimp that has access to technology, and I've figured it out, and now I have a beautiful website. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform. You got site, domain, and store, and a 24/7 customer service. And if you've already got a domain, you can transfer that over to Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and whenever you're ready to launch your site, use squarespace.com/Dylan, and you'll get 10% off of your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you, and good night.